Perfect. The recording got started. Thank you all of you for joining this wonderful artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is today is not the day one class. Day one class will be from next Monday. So today and tomorrow we will be spending more time on understanding what is this artificial intelligence, what is this machine learning, career opportunities, and what is being covered, and a lot of things we are going to go at a high level, not very much in depth. At a high level, we are going to understand. A warm welcome to all of you. My name is Lakshmi. I live in Melbourne and I have 25 years of experience in IT. I'm the director of the company called Hands On Agile Coaching. It's a legally registered company here in Australia. So we are experts at providing job oriented trainings. I'm expert providing the Scrum Master, Product Owner, Project Management trainings. And I also have collaborated with other expert trainers. We train the people on the cybersecurity, AIML, data engineering, all high demand courses completely in a practical way. That's the main difference we are making. Okay, team? Cool. So we all gathered here for to understand very high demand AI and ML. That is the buzzword sounding everywhere. Whatever the project you take, you touch IT person, you touch non-IT person, whether it is a developer or a senior manager, everywhere this is just like a mantra chanting AI, AI. Okay, so we all are here to understand what is this AI, how can we build a smart models and everything with the help of another trainer called Wamshi. Okay, so I will just quickly give a quick pitch and then we will move, Vamshi will take over the class. So team, in simple words, like what is human intelligence? When we start thinking manually, like God has given us a gift, like we have a brain and we can think and we know what we are talking and we can think and we can act, right? That's a human intelligence applying the mindset. And if I manufacture a machine by default, let us say this is a water bottle, and this is a simple water bottle. It is not a smart. It can't think on its own. But if I introduce some smart software, it will start thinking. Maybe it will keep the temperature according to my voice command. That's that. Now it became smart. So it start thinking. So machines are starting thinking now. Our cars are thinking. Car can auto park. Our fridge is thinking. We can operate the fridge temperature, and all the machines, the smartphones, whatever, everything becoming smart. So the humans, they are building programs, helping the machines to think more logically and becoming smart so that machines start helping us. We have seen like a lot of machines. Most of us, we will be using, for example, let us say Siri, or we say, hi Alexa, can you play this song? And it will automatically pick up and play the song. Yeah, so that's the kind of intelligence we are talking about. Artificially, we are building and introducing this one, artificial intelligence. And it's a big ocean basically. And another subset under artificial intelligence is machine learning. Machine learning. Basically, we are not going to do much programming here, but we are going to feed the machines with the data. The machine should be able to predict more based on the data. For example, when you log into the Amazon, doing the shopping, let us say I look for a laptop, and Amazon will give an indication at the bottom saying that, oh, you can also consider buying this kind of laptop or the mouse or these things, accessories. So this is automatically understanding that I am looking for some product. Even if you go and look for, let us say, for example, you watch an adventure movie this weekend. So Netflix, it has that intelligence now, the machine. It knows what is our need, what is our, so you can turn off the cameras. Cameras are not required. Abdul, thank you. If you are struggling, I can stop. Perfect. Thank you. So similarly, Netflix, all the applications are becoming smart and then giving this. So it is becoming artificial AI ML is there for a while, but last 2 3 years, this buzz has becoming more and more projects. They are embracing AI, even the coding, programming, and everything. Nowadays, the AI tools, especially for example, ChatGPT and other Copilot or Google Gemini, they are doing within a minute. So how can we build our own machines? How can we build all, how can we equip this knowledge? Because this is very much important. We need to embrace the change, whether you like it or not like it, you're not going to like it. This is the future for all of us. For you as a junior engineer, 20 years with 2 years of experience. For me as a senior delivery manager with 25 years of experience, we all need to embrace the change. before we get disconnected. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm sharing my screen, and I have latest model. Oops, I have latest model of the Chat GPT here. And if I just type, for example, demand for AI professionals across the globe, this is a paid version of the chat. So it has all the data and it is in front of you. I'm just searching. So it is going to search entire millions of websites and bring out the demand here. I request everyone to go on mute, please. We don't need cameras. Please turn off the, please go on mute. You can see here. So explosive growth of the job postings. Over the past 2 years, AI skills have by 130% with the roles in generative AI experiencing remarkable 1300% increase. And wage premiums, high demand roles, essential skills, proficiency in the Python, cloud-based AI, they are very much in demand. That's the reason we are teaching all of you the Python, even the cloud. So Vamshi is going to help us with the Azure cloud as well, and understanding the AI, ML. So in Australia, whether you are in Australia, India, plenty of job opportunities across the globe. Okay, team. So we are going to understand all the stuff, and I'm going to send you the Telegram link as well. I manage this Telegram. I'm the admin, you can see here, and there are more than 5,500 people there. And I post a lot of job opportunities, global job opportunities, and we conduct a lot of free webinars like cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, lot of webinars, good conversations. I will be sending you this link. You can join this link as well. And if you just while I'm here, maybe just some of you asked my LinkedIn, so this is my LinkedIn. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn and I live in Melbourne, Australia. Request everyone to go on mute, please. Jacqueline, kindly mute. Karen, we don't need the mics on. Okay, and yeah, so I'm running a company called Hands-on Agile Coaching Company. Okay, team, that's all from my side. So today and tomorrow is more of a free introductory class. We are going to understand the things at a high level. But from Monday, we are going to understand all these things. The main objective of this program, this is a 3 months intensive program, 3 months, not 1 day or 2 day. Because if we want to stand out in the market, we have to learn and equip ourselves with real-time skills. So over the period of 3 months of time, we are going to master all these tools, technologies, the Python for AI/ML, statistics, machine learning, all the things, and the deep learning, generative AI, Azure. I know I'm not going into detail. And you are going to have, all of you are going to do a lot of real-time hands-on projects or scenarios. So you're going to do all these activities on the cloud. Team, Kirtana, please go on mute. Okay, and we are going to, all of you are going to do these real world projects as well. So every day, Monday to Friday, the classes will be there. All of you are going to join at the same time. Each class will be recorded and the recordings will be there in the drive. So all the recordings will be there in the drive. For example, so this is the drive. Let's say this is the cybersecurity. Uh, like if you go here, so you will see the materials, all the materials and everything will be there. Okay. And we have a dedicated WhatsApp group also. Okay, I just want to step back from here. So all the context set. So we are going to understand from our trainer Vamshi related to the AI ML. He's our coach for this entire, he's going to be our coach for entire 3 months. And don't worry, we are going to even support you after 3 months as well with the CV, LinkedIn. And I have good number of students here who joined. Some of them, they are 4 years back as well. And then so they got settled well. Okay, so all of you are going to really learn a lot because Vamshi is working in Microsoft. He is working as an AI scientist, and we are going to get a lot of real-time information from Vamshi. Okay, thank you, Vamshi, for giving me the opportunity to kickstart this one. So over to you.
All right. So, hello guys, hello everyone. So, welcome to this session on AI, ML, of course, the future technologies. So, fine. Now, we'll start with the session on AI, ML, and other future trending technologies. So, before we start with the session, so let me introduce to you about myself. So, my name is Vamshi, and I've been working around 18 years into this IT field. So, with 10 years into this artificial intelligence or data science kind of field. Fine. Now, let me not boast about myself, but today I'll give you very good insights into this course, especially. So, what is AI? What is AI? All right. So because nowadays, I mean, so this is the
Vamshi,
trending kind of
sorry to
keywords, right?
Vamshi, sorry to interrupt. Can you please make me co-host? I will
Yeah,
just
yeah, sure.
control
Just,
noise. We don't want to record the noise. Some
just,
students intentionally or unintentionally unmute and all the background noises get will record it.
just.
Just make me co-host. That's good enough. All good. Thank you. No, I'm yet to get.
Mm. All right. Now, so now this is the latest keyword, right? Or buzzword in the market. I mean, okay, so in the IT world, the field of information technology, now you see wherever you see artificial intelligence, of course. Now today we have Gen AI as well. So Gen AI as well. And again, machine learning. And again, we have data science. We have, I mean, deep learning. All right. So we have all these things here. Uh, Fine. Now, let me tell you a few things about this. So we're going to learn what is this one. I'll tell you in as simple ways as possible. So what is machine learning or what is, I mean, other kind of trending technologies here. And again, so we'll also dive deep into some kind of project. I mean, so the ongoing batch. I mean, so we have some kind of ongoing batch. I'll show you one such kind of project here. So I'll show you with some kind of different examples. I'll give you what exactly we perform in data science and what is machine learning. So how it is different from the other kind of development kind of jobs or other kind of IT jobs here. So we'll understand each and everything here. Now, one thing I would like to say is data scientist or ML engineer or AI, I mean, engineer, so whatever it is, the role. So you people are the solution providers here. Solution providers. All right. So it's not any, I mean, development kind of role or something. It's more than that one. So we'll understand what exactly the things are now and again. So we'll also try to dive deep into this kind of technologies. I'll give you a lot of examples on this one. Fine. Now let us first of all try to understand what exactly this one is. And again, later on, I'll even show you some kind of statistics, like what is the trend of this kind of thing. And again, what are the future trend we have? What are the job scenarios we have again? And again, what are the different kinds of job opportunities you have across different regions here? So you might be joining in from US, Australia, India, and of course elsewhere. Fine. So we'll also try to look at the different job perspectives in the market here. Fine. Now, to be frank, what is AI? I mean, of course, I mean, so there are a lot of definitions in the market, but I would like to tell you in a simple way. So, what is AI? So, AI, which is also called artificial intelligence, is a technology which mimics human intelligence. So, just like we think, we take some kind of actions, I mean, take some kind of decisions, or we do some kind of activities. In the same way, we try to, I mean, put that kind of intelligence in a machine, so which will do the same kind of job we as a human beings do it. All right. So basically, it mimics human intelligence. So it performs the activities just like we humans do it. So whether you speak to it, or whether you want it to make some kind of decisions here, or whether you want to use it in different perspectives here. So I mean, you can train it to perform such kind of task here. All right. Now, AI refers to the computer systems or machines that can perform complex tasks normally done by human reasoning, decision making, creating, etc. So AI today can perform like the different human tasks that we can perform, like thinking something or taking some kind of decision here or predicting some kind of things here. all right, or creating some kind of thing, or generating some kind of user defined content. So all these things we can perform here. All right. But again, let me tell you, how does AI work here? AI uses the concept of maths and statistics. Okay, so both are some kind of eyes of AI here. All right, I can tell you. So both are some kind of eyes here. Fine. I mean statistics and machine learning. That means mathematics. All right, mathematics and machine learning. So, I mean, we train the data using different kinds of algorithms here. And again, we train it in order to identify certain things here. For example, I want to train it to perform certain kind of predictions here or classify certain objects here. So it can be some kind of fruits here. I want to identify some kind of fruits here. All right. Or I want to predict some kind of housing prices in a particular location here. For example, New York. All right. I want to predict what are the housing prices in some kind of location in New York here. Or else I want to predict some kind of stock prices here. So what could be the sales of some kind of organizations here, for example. Now, likewise, I can train it to perform certain tasks here. All right. So, but again, let us try to understand from the beginner's point of view. Okay. So, what is AI? Now, before we dive into the types of AI, right? Let me tell you one thing. So, I mean, if you know the history of AI, let me tell you the history of AI. All right. So, it dates back to 1950s. All right. It dates back to 1950s. So, AI is not any new kind of technology, guys. The problem was we did not had enough computing powers in those kind of years actually. So it dates back to 1950s, where's Alan Turing. So he's the person actually. So who coined the term machine learning. All right. So let me even show you about something. I'll show you with different examples so you can easily understand what exactly. First, we need to try to understand what exactly this one is. So AI timeline. Now let me show you something, some interesting information. All right. So if you look at this, in the 1950s, he started some kind of test called as Turing test here. All right. So computer scientist Alan Turing proposes a test for machine intelligence. If a machine can trick humans into thinking it as human, then it has intelligence. All right. Now he proposed some kind of, concept called as Turing test. All right, Turing test here. Now, the main concept of this test was to make machines perform some kind of task faster than humans here. All right. Now, one such kind of example at that point of time was a simple calculator which works on the same kind of concept of this Turing test here. All right. Now, at this point of time, the Turing test involves making machines to perform a certain task here. Now, for example, if you take the case of a calculator, right? Now, calculator, it can perform only certain tasks here. For example, if you type in something, all right, you might be adding some kind of things. You might be subtracting some kind of things. Okay. So that means it is able to perform only some kind of predefined task here. All right. So it was not that intelligent to perform some kind of predictions or something. So that was the basic test it had actually. All right. Later on, due to the rising advancements in the technological field and again the computer powers also. So we had different other kind of things. In the field of AI. Okay, different developments in the field of AI. Now let us try to understand. We have three different kinds of AI, three types of AI: artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and of course, artificial super intelligence. Now, what is this basically? Let me give you a small example.
नहीं नहीं कॉल इसको
So, Vamshi, can you
Guys,
please make me co-host? I think
yeah,
earlier
yeah,
you,
I'm actually just a minute.
when
I don't know
when
why
you
that option is not getting highlighted here. Just a minute.
no when you go to three dots on my name.
Yes, yes, of course, I can do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. But again, I'm still getting the same make host kind of option. Okay.
Hello everyone. We kindly request all of you to please sure, Vamshi. Let's continue. That's okay.
Guys, okay, so first let us, try to understand these concepts here. Then I would take your session. Okay, so questions later after the end of the session. Thank you. And again. So we are at this step here. So the three types of artificial intelligence. Now, what are this basically? Artificial narrow intelligence or some other kind of types here. Now, artificial narrow intelligence is some kind of, weak intelligence or some kind of weak AI also people call it. So basically, this is the stage one we are into actually. All right. This is the stage one. The current world is into this kind of AI. Now, machine learning. So one such kind of example is a machine learning where you train it to solve different kinds of problems here. All right. So, for example, we have different kinds of examples today. So, we train it a particular machine to perform certain tasks here, take some kind of decisions, predict some kind of things here, or even speak to humans here. For example, in the case of chatbots here, for example, NLP kind of systems here. So, whether you take it some kind of Siri, Alexa, Cortana, or any other kind of, chatbots here. Okay. So, these are some kind of examples of artificial narrow intelligence. And again, let me tell you, in artificial narrow intelligence, I mean, this is a kind of machine, artificial intelligence where it can tell you on what it has been trained for here. All right. Now, for example, if I ask Siri about some kind of question like who is the president of United States, it will quickly come up with some kind of answer here because it has been trained on that particular data here, all the publicly available billions of data here. All right. But again, if I ask it some kind of question like to tell me about my bank balance here, all right. So, or what could be the some other kind of thing? For example, bank balance here. No, it can't answer such kind of question here because it has not been trained on that particular kind of thing. All right. So you need to understand one thing. So on what parameters it has been trained here. All right. So it can answer only those kind of things here. Now, again, the other form of intelligence is artificial general intelligence. So, where a machine intelligence, this stage is called as machine intelligence. It refers to a computer that is as smart as human across the board here. So, it can play some kind of games like checkers, and there has been some kind of research also. IBM has conducted some kind of research where the machine has played some kind of chess or some kind of checkers, and again, it has outsmart humans also in multiple games here. So that means a machine can give you accurate results only when it has experienced a lot here. That means when you train it in lot of aspects, right, with lot of parameters here or lots of data here, only then it can give you accurate results here. All right. So this is kind of, research that is going on into this current kind of thing here. And of course, you can look at many such kind of examples or movies in real world here. So for example, you take a lot of Hollywood movies which are based on this kind of concepts here. All right. Of course, they have even done some kind of movies onto this kind of stage also. Artificial super intelligence. So this is the stage where it is also called as machine consciousness. All right. So that means machines will overrule humans here. All right. So machines will take over the world here. Now you see there are a lot of movies like Terminator 3 and of course we have some kind of fire robot and some other kind of things here. All right. So these are all the myths. Okay, so this is not any true kind of things because a lot of research is going on. Now, Alan Turing has proposed this kind of concept in the year 1950s here, in 1950s. Now, it took almost all of, like, for example, more than 50 years, in order to, grow with the growing kind of computing demands here. All right. But again, let me tell you, it requires a few more years in order to go to this particular stage here. All right, so a lot of things are required, lot of computational powers are required. This is only a myth actually. All right, but again, if this becomes true, right, so it will be the end of the human means on this world here. All right, so let me not go into any kind of fictional stories here. So, but as let us try to stick on to a course here. Now, so let me tell you few functionalities of AI. So today AI is in such a kind of state where it can identify something. So if you take the case of some kind of security scanners or some kind of devices here, so you can even scan using your some kind of things, right? So biometric scanners or some kind of lasers or some kind of thing here. All right. So their AI is also used here, and of course speech recognition. So whether it is some kind of chatbots like Siri or Alexa, or whether it is some kind of advanced chatbots like some kind of chat GPT or Google Gemini or some other kind of things. So AI has its footprint in all these kind of areas here. And again, when you take the case of other kind of applications, right, so there are a lot of things where AI is applied in real world case studies here. I'll tell you now. For example, now you might be uh, shopping over some kind of e-commerce portal like Amazon. Now you might be purchasing some kind of products here, any kind of products here. Okay, so when you buy purchasing some kind of products, right? So that, I mean, they will also recommend you some other kind of products here. So people who have purchased this kind of products have also bought this kind of products. Now you might be seeing this kind of things, right? So that is some kind of machine learning algorithm. So it is trying to tell you that people who has purchased this kind of products have also bought some kind of products here. So those are called as recommendation systems here. All right. So might be people have purchased some kind of products here based on its search history kind of thing. And again, based on the people's interest. So it will be giving you such kind of recommendations here. So likewise, I mean, so you see there are a lot of examples here, even the Tesla car here. So Tesla car is its like for example, it has been built on using some kind of machine learning, powerful machine learning, advanced machine learning algorithms, and some kind of neural networks also. So deep learning kind of things here. So where it can identify the objects when it is moving on the road here. All right. So all those are some kind of advanced level kind of analytics. So I mean AI. So which are presently implemented in real world scenarios here. Now, likewise, if you look at different examples of AI, so AI today is implemented not just into any kind of IT or any kind of field, but almost all the domains here. So you name it, AI is used here. All right. So for example, it could be some kind of manufacturing, or it could be airways, or it could be stock markets, or it could be IT, or it could be finance, banking, or insurance sector, or any other kind of healthcare sector, or also which is the biggest adopter of AI. And again, some kind of e-commerce portals. So where recommendation system, product recommendations, okay, and even your Gmail also. So spam filters, so spam emails or something. All right. So all this works on the concept of AI. Fine. So now, again, let me tell you, there are even some kind of how AI works here. So it uses some kind of subfields here. Let me tell you. Now, basically, AI can be divided broadly into this, I mean, three different kinds of subfields here. So machine learning, deep learning, and again data science here. Now what is machine learning? So machine learning is a subset of AI and builds a model based on training data to make predictions here. So it's a subset of AI where it uses some kind of data in order to predict something or classify something. Now for example, I wanted to train it to predict some kind of housing prices here in a particular location. All right, it's in a particular region here, for example. Now it give it lots of data. Okay, so I ask it to I mean predict some kind of things for me. So I mean when you train it on lot of kind of aspects here, lots of data or lot of parameters here, right? So it can accurately give you some kind of answers here. Similarly, you can even use machine learning in order to classify something or cluster something. Now, for example. So I'll also tell you the use cases for this one, guys. Okay. So I mean, when we dive into machine learning, I'll also give you the real-time use cases for this one. On the other hand, you have deep learning, so which is also a subset of machine learning. So some kind of advanced algorithms which are used to solve some kind of complex problems like speech recognition, image detection, all right, and again voice detection, all right. So that is why it is used in Gen AI kind of applications here. And again, data science, of course, I mean, so we cannot I mean, forget data science here, which uses all these kind of technologies in order to infer something from the data. Now I want to take better decisions from my data. I want to predict some kind of things, or I want to find out some kind of inferences or insights from the data. I mean, so I involve lot of analytics practices here in order to, I mean, find better insights from the data here. I'll also show you some kind of real-time project, guys. So which we are doing in the current ongoing batch here. I'll show you that one. So what we are doing actually, and what exactly does a data scientist perform here. So I'll give you with some kind of examples here. So what is the nature of his work and what he actually performs in real world scenarios. Now, so let us dive deep into this machine learning. Now, before this one, right, I would like to tell you some kind of things here. I mean, I'll ask you a few questions here. So, for example, let me show you with some kind of explanation here. So then you can understand what I'm teaching you. Because it is not any I mean some other kind of development job, as I told you. So it is this field is something different actually. So you need to play with data and again infer something out of it. Now for example, understand that you have been given some kind of sales data, weekly sales data. All right, so weekly sales data, weekly sales data. So in week one, you almost all got, let's say for example, $500 as sales here. All right. And in week two, you almost all got, let's say, for example, $5,000. All right. $5,000 here. Fine. And in week three, so let us try to understand. You almost all got only $2,000. All right. Now, if I tell you to, see, for example, analyze, like, for example, so what is this data about? So what I can do, what we do in data science or machine learning is, I'll tell you with some simple case studies here. Now, rather than going with some kind of definitions or some kind of examples, right? So let me show you with an interesting use case study. So let me plot this in a 2D axis. Fine. So this is Y and this is X here. So as you people know this one. All right. Now let me take the weekly kind of sales here on X axis here. Fine. So then what I do, for example, let me 1,000. So again, this is 2,000. And again, so this is 4,000, for example. And again, this is some kind of 5,000 in terms of y-axis here. All right. Now, for example, in the week one, we got almost all only 500 here. Okay, so this is my weekly sales here. This is week one. And again, week two, I almost all got 5,000 as sales. Okay, so there is very exponential rise in my sales here. So this is week two. And again, in week three, we almost all got only a few amount of sales here. So for example, let me draw this kind of thing here. All right. So because in data science and machine learning, we also need to visualize some kind of data because a data scientist is a good data scientist, I can call in this way. A good data scientist or machine learning is a guy who can derive some kind of insights from the data, analyze the data, and visually communicate the results to the end users. All right. So now let me tell you something. So for example, if I ask you to explain this particular sales impact, right? Now you can tell me that in week one, there was only $500 here in terms of sales here. And again, in week two, so there is some kind of exponential rise in terms of sales here. All right, exponential increase here. And again, in week two, there is some kind of decrease in sales here. All right. Now, if I ask you, what is the reason for this one? So what will be your answer? Yes. What you say about this one? If I ask you to tell me or explain me the sales, things, right? So how will you explain me this?
I think we don't have enough information to say that, do we?
Okay.
I think we need to get the why because it's increase in rise. We need the what is the items we sold, and we need to do some data analysis before getting into solution.
Okay, okay. So you are giving an high level answer. Fine, that's okay. But again, see, let me tell you something. See, now week one to week two, there is some kind of increase in sales. Okay, so there is, I'm at least bothered about that one. But again, can you explain me this impact here? So this one,
Drop in sales.
why I got this one?
Could be various factors
Yeah.
like supply, demand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Competition.
Competition.
Fine. Okay. So there could be a lot of reasons, right? So for example, there could be some kind of products which have low amount of sales here. Can it be? Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So there could be negative reviews also. All right. Negative reviews. Because see, now commonly when we purchase some kind of products over Amazon or some kind of e-commerce portals, right? We also look for the reviews, right? So user reviews here. All right. So this could be some kind of potential reason also. Or it could be due to some other kind of factors also. Okay. So see, now how do you find out an exact kind of accurate
It
kind
could
of
be
solution?
seasonal, could be holiday, or could be weather, like these type of things as well.
Yes, of course it could be. It could be. Okay, so this is where your data science and machine learning comes into the concept here. Data science and machine learning. Now, normally, what happens with BI systems, BI, business intelligence, where you report something, where you prepare some kind of reports and dashboards. BI systems, will just tell you what is happening in the data. So, for example, you can simply create some kind of report like what are the sales going on in the data, or else you can even compare some kind of reports like what were the sales last week and this week. For example, last quarter and this quarter. Or, for example, last year, the same kind of day or the same sales now. So you can explain in this kind of cases here. But again, I mean, if I ask you what, if I mean, ask you some kind of predictions, like, so what can be the reasons here? Okay, so it can't perform well here. So that is where you have to go with this kind of concept here, data science and machine learning. Now, let me tell you with two simple questions on where this data science and machine learning comes into the concept here. And I'll also explain you with some real-time project here. Now, all right. So, I mean, so explain what factors are
I don't know if it's me, but it seems we've lost Vamshi.
Hi,
Yeah, same.
everybody.
Yeah, it keeps dropping out.
I think Wamshi keeps dropping out.
Ah,
Hmm. Pinch out for a bigger view.
You can see the screen again, I think.
Oh,
guys, am I audible now?
yes.
All right, thank you. So, I mean, see, based on these two questions, right, this gives rise to some kind of interesting, things about data science and machine learning. So now let us try to understand what exactly data science is and where machine learning and data science fit here actually. Now, for example, in order to, find out what is going on in the sales, right? So first of all, you need to have an understanding of the sales data here. You need to get some kind of sales data. So for example, sales data, and then you need to find out some kind of basic things about your sales here. Now that is where some kind of concept arises here called as statistics. So it is the field of some kind of mathematics, so where it will give you some kind of information about your data in different ways here. For example, now first of all, I would like to see, for example, in order to understand this pattern, right? So you need to understand about the basic information about your data. Fine. So what is some kind of average sales here? What is some kind of median sales here? And again, what the highest sales here, minimum sales here? Okay. So again, you need to plot certain kind of things here. So that is where we use some kind of practices like some kind of univariate analysis and again bivariate analysis here. All right. So let me not go deeper into this kind of concepts here. So, but bivariate analysis. In simple terms, I'll tell you what exactly this one is. Now, univariate is some kind of.
Rashmi, sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. I'm not too sure. It seems you're sharing your screen, but I'm not too sure what we're looking at. Um, in terms of the explanation you're trying to make. You are sharing, but for some reason, all I can see is just history of AI, 1950 Alan
Yes,
Turing.
I'm into this particular window only.
Okay, all right. To apologize. I thought you were trying to share something.
No, I mean, I'm sharing something and again, I'm typing something here. All right. Fine. All right. Now, what I meant to say is, now what are the factors that are causing decrease in terms of sales here? Now, for example, you have sales data with you. You might be having different columns with you. Now, here in data science, what we do is we try to figure out which are those kind of factors that are causing decrease in terms of sales here. It could be many factors here. Fine. So, for example, It could be due to the negative reviews of the product here, or it could be due to some kind of high sales, high prices of the product, that the products are not going well in the market. So they don't have a certain kind of sales here, for example. So likewise, you need to figure out which are those kind of factors which are impacting your sales growth here. All right. So that is one kind of concept here. So, but before that one, so you need to try to understand from a basic perspective. So what is, going on in your data. So here in statistics, right, we use some kind of concepts called as, measures of central tendencies here. All right. So measures of central tendency. So this is what we have learned some kind of concept. Every one of us learned some kind of concept, our school days, right, in mathematics and statistics here. So what is mean? Again, we learned something about median and again some kind of more
Saburan dia
kind of
produce
concepts.
actually boss.
Guys, please go on mute. If you have any questions, you can ask me later. Right. Now, so this is where we apply on the data and we come to know something about the data here. All right. Then later on, you plot the things using some kind of univariate and bivariate kind of analysis. Now, what is univariate is you study the data based on one specific kind of, entity. So one such kind of field you take it and again you analyze what is impacting. All right. So it is the study of only one kind of variable. So that is called as univariate. And again, bivariate is some kind of analysis like, for example, let me tell you, so height and weight of students in a class. So for example, now, how height and weight are related to each other here. Similarly, like for example, in a housing prices, right? For example, you might be having different kinds of things with you. For example, now let me take some kind of housing prices data. In a typical housing prices kind of thing, right? So for example, data, we have lots of things here. For example, you have number of rooms here. All right. So for example, number of rooms here. And again, you have area of the house here. All right. Area of the house. And again, so in similar way, what you do is you have lot of other kind of factors also. Then you have price of the house as well. So price of the house here. All right. Now, for example, what you do here is you try to find out, like, for example, is the number of rooms by increasing the number of rooms. So is your price increasing or is it having any kind of negative impact on the price of the house here? So likewise, what you do, you find out some kind of relationship between each and every variable with the predictor here. Now, what is the predictor here? So we call it as a price here. So that means, see, predictor in the sense we are trying to estimate some kind of things here. So this is called as price here. So this particular column price now, which is in terms of machine learning language, we call it as a predictor or dependent kind of variable. We call it in different terminologies. Okay, so forget about that one. But again, what I mean to say is, now what you do in data sciences, for example, so how do you analyze some kind of things is you estimate some kind of price here actually. Okay, so with some kind of factors here. All right. So then you use some kind of algorithmic ways in order to figure out which has impact on your price here. So now, for example, so you even find out some kind of relation in the data. So for example, how do you plot that things here? So for example, in order to estimate some kind of things, right? Like say, for example, I'll show you some kind of things here. Right. So let's say you have some kind of data here again. All right. Now, for example, so how is your Y getting affected? For example, so this is your Y. So this is a price here. All right. Price. Now, for example, so this is some kind of X factors, which we also call them as features here. For example, let us take, so here our X factor is number of rooms here. Number of rooms here. Now, for example, you have some kind of plots here. All right. Then what you do now, further, for example, if it is now this is 0 here. All right. So it is 1, it is 2, and again it is 3, and again it is 4, for example. Now, for example, what you do here is if you have one room, so what is the price here? So you mark some kind of things. And again, so for example, certainly in any kind of location you take, so your housing prices depends upon the different factors here. So when number of rooms increases in a particular house here, so you also see that the price of the house also increases here. So there is some kind of relationship between the data. You see some kind of graph in this way. So this is called as linearly increasing. All right. In technical terms, this is also called as linearly increasing, this kind of thing here. Now, that means what conclusion we can make from this is, so we can say that there is a positive impact on price by increasing the number of rooms here. So similarly, what you do, you also find out some other kind of factors also. I mean, based on some other kind of columns, you also do it here. So in the same way, coming to this kind of sales kind of data, right? I mean, consider different kinds of factors here. So which is causing some kind of positive impact or negative impact on the data. So then you estimate something. So this is where data science and machine learning go hand in hand. In order to, identify this kind of patterns, right? You involve some kind of statistical approaches on the data. So that is where we use some kind of concept called as machine learning. Now let us try to understand the concept of machine learning. So what is machine learning? So what we exactly be doing in machine learning? So machine learning is considered as a subset of artificial intelligence. So it is the process of using mathematical models of data to help a computer learn without direct instruction. All right. So what we do is, for example, I want to, find out, like, for example, I want to make some kind of model, a machine learning model, where I want to find out some kind of square of a number, for example. So machine learning uses algorithms to identify patterns within data, and those patterns are then used to create a data model that can make predictions here. Now, for example, let me show you some other simple use case study. Now, what I want to do here is what we do in machine learning is, so there is some kind of difference between a traditional programming and again, some kind of machine learning model here. In traditional programming, what we do is we use some kind of input as some kind of instructions here. So traditional programming, in traditional programming, what happens is we pass some kind of input. Okay, so by following some kind of instructions here, we follow some kind of instructions. So which we call it as a program. All right. So which we call it as a program. Then based on the instructions or based on some kind of syntaxes of the program, so it derives some kind of output here. It derives output. All right. But again, machine learning is not this case. So what we do here is we try to make the machine learn the data here, first of all. So for example, I want to, design some kind of model in this way. So for example, f of x equal to x square here. F of x equal to x square. So what I do initially, I also pass it some kind of input called as 2, and I also pass it some kind of, output as 4 here. So I make it learn using different kinds of inputs and outputs here. Finally, what I derive is the machine learning output will be some kind of logic here. It has to identify the logic in that particular data here. That means it has to identify the data patterns here. Only then it can give you some kind of accurate decisions here. For example, what I mean to say is when you feed it some kind of data, right? You also feed some kind of input as well as output variables to it so that it identifies, it learns the data here. So with lots of data, it can better give you the results here. So this is what a machine learning algorithm identifies here. Okay. Now, for example, if I pass it some kind of unknown random number, like say, for example, I pass it some kind of number called as, let's say, for example, 5. Now it will immediately give me the answer as 25. So 5 into 5, which is 25 in this case. All right. So it is 25. But again, what we do here is this is just to simply show you some kind of basic example on what we do in a machine learning model. So the more amount of data you feed it to particular machine learning model, so the better accuracy it will give you. All right. So with increased data and experience, the results of machine learning are more accurate, much like how humans improve with more practice here. So the more we practice, the more we excel in particular task, right? In the same way, the more amount of data you feed it or you give it as, as input to that machine learning model, right? So based on its experiences, right, it will give you better accuracy. All right. So this is what a machine learning algorithm will try to do here. Now, let me tell you, some examples of machine learning in real life, where it is used exactly. Fine. Now, for example, if you look at a facial recognition system, right? So it is used to identify some kind of, facial patterns in the data. All right. Now, again, product recommendations. So this is one of the best use cases of machine learning in real world scenarios. Product recommendations. Like as I told you, some kind of recommendations which are done on Amazon. Like, for example, you purchase some kind of product here. So, for example, you're purchasing some kind of Nike shoes. Now, it will also show you some other kind of branded shoes also. It will tell you that people who have purchased some kind of product, so this kind of product, have also brought this product here. All right, so it will give you some kind of suggestions or some kind of recommendations here. So those are also called as recommendation systems in case of machine learning. All right, so that is, I mean, see, a real-time concept I'm telling you guys. This is not any kind of vague kind of example I'm telling you. So these are all happening in real world scenarios here. All right, so email automation. Now, for example, let us take the case of your Gmail applications here. Now, based on the content that particular mail has and based on the keywords, so it will identify which is some kind of genuine mail and which is some kind of spam mail or a fake mail here. All right. So then it will automatically redirect that particular mail to your inbox or either to the spam folder. All right. So this is what happens in an email automation kind of thing here. So there again, some kind of machine learning algorithm is implemented. Now, again, you search for something over Google search here. So have you ever wondered how come Google is able to give you the relevant content that you're searching for, right? Okay, so based on the keywords, it actually divides your search patterns into keywords here. And based on the relevancy that particular keywords is having, so it will try to identify some kind of sites, websites, okay? So in its Google index search here, which is having more relevancy and more rank here. I mean, good rank here. So then it will automatically recommend you those particular sites to you. So this is how a search engine works here. So behind a search engine, so there is some kind of machine learning bots or some kind of spiders actually. So which will scroll the entire web here and will give you the kind of content that you're looking for. So this is how a search engine actually works here. Similarly, you can even look at some kind of machine learning kind of implementations in real world, other kind of domains as well. So for example, in financial kind of things, so they are using it to identify some kind of fraud kind of transactions here, credit card fraud transactions or loan transactions here. All right. So in order to detect some kind of money laundering kind of things here, so they are using machine learning in real world scenarios. Now again, if you look at some other kind of social media kind of thing, the social media is also lots about people flock to social media in order to discuss various aspects here. So based upon the kind of tweet you make it or based upon the post you like for example drop it, right? So it will automatically identify what is that particular tweet about. I mean, all right, so it will identify in that way. And again, healthcare, so today machine learning is also implemented. So one such kind of domain which is heavily using this AI or machine learning or other kind of fields is healthcare kinds. All right, in US and UK and in India as well. So in other parts of globe as well. So this machine learning is being implemented heavily into this sector. So where they're using it to identify some kind of patterns in the diseases. I mean, like so for example, it is used to identify some kind of cancer in patients or diabetes kind of things or some other kind of healthcare kind of diagnosis here. All right. And again, in speech recognition. So speech recognition. So today you see automated voice responders, or let's say, for example, some kind of bots like Siri, Amazon Alexa, or again, let's say, for example, whether it be some kind of Microsoft Cortana or any other kind of bots here. So speech recognition is one kind of implementation. So where machine learning is used again. Again, autonomous vehicles. In autonomous vehicles, right, it's a mix. I mean, like, say, for example, it has some kind of powerful machine learning and deep learning kind of algorithms here. Now, when it navigates onto the road, right? So it has to identify different objects on the road here. For example, it has to identify who are humans here. And again, which are some kind of machines here. Machines in the sense, some kind of automobile. So whether it is some kind of, car, some kind of other kind of object or which is moving onto the road here. And then it has to even detect some kind of signals on the roads. And again, it has to take some kind of decisions here, whether it has to turn right, whether it has to turn left, or it has to stop the vehicle there. Okay, it has been trained on different data here. So they put some kind of intelligence into that machine by training it in different aspects here. All right. And again, so based upon all these kind of, examples, right? So there are some different machine learning techniques that are implemented in all these kind of examples here. So for example, machine learning is being classified into three different kinds of patterns here. For example, techniques here. So you call them as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and again reinforcement learning. In simple ways, I'll tell you what is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. In supervised learning, we give the data to a machine learning model. We train it using some kind of algorithm, okay, and we tell it to identify some kind of output here. For example, so prediction, classification, all are examples of this supervised learning kind of model. Again, unsupervised learning. Now, unsupervised learning, I'll tell you a very good example on this one. So for example, clustering. All right. So clustering. Now, what is clustering is, now let me tell you with a simple use case study. You might be visiting some kind of retail store, different kinds of retail outlets here. all right, in order to purchase some kind of different products here. It could be anything. Fine. It could be ranging from some kind of accessories to some kind of footwear or some kind of food products or some kind of clothes or some kind of mobile products or some kind of jewelry or any other kind of things here. It can be anything. Now, how this, I mean, all right. So let me tell you how these retail companies implement this machine learning kind of things here is, let me tell you. So they divide the customers into different groups here. Okay. So groups. All right. So they divide the customers into different groups, or which we also call them as clusters here. All right. Clusters here. Now, what are this one? Let me explain you. So for example, now based on this, I mean, user behavior, right? So customer behavior in the sense so let me write it here. Customer behavior, which is also called as purchasing patterns. Purchasing patterns. All right. Now, what do you mean by purchasing patterns here? So, for example, not every customer will be like, for example, giving me the same sales amount, right? For example, so we see there will be a lot of customers between, like, for example, some kind of 1,000 to some kind of 5,000 in terms of sales here. Fine. So, between $1,000 to $5,000 in terms of sales here. So, let me call it as cluster one. Cluster one. All right. And again, let's say, for example, there would be some kind of people, okay, so who would be giving me in terms of 5,001 to, let's say, for example, $15,000. All right, in terms of sales here. So let me call it as cluster two. All right. And again, let me also do in this way. So for example, there would be some kind of people who would be giving me in between, 15,000 to, let's say, let me call it as $20,000 here. All right, 20,000 or something. All right. So let me call them as uh, cluster three, or else group three also. Now, see, based upon this one, right? Based upon the sales, so as a standard kind of, research that has been conducted by various retail companies, right? So in the US or elsewhere across the globe, so people fall under these three major categories here. So there will be a lot of customers who might be giving me some kind of sales in this particular, cluster, in this particular kind of sales kind of things here between $1,000 to $5,000. There might be also some kind of customers who might fall into this particular category or else this particular category. See, there'll be hardly some kind of customers who will be giving me some kind of $50,000 plus in terms of sales on a single day. Fine. So those people are very rare or very, like, for example, so I do not get those kind of customers on an everyday. For example, all right. So now those are very, like, for example, such as some kind of rare kind of scenario, we can call it. All right. Or even some kind of $100,000. All right. So for example, $100,000 here. So $100,000 in terms of sales here. Now, what is my point here is, now retail organizations won't bother about the people who fall under this particular category. $50,000 or let's say, for example, $100,000 plus in terms of sales here. So those are high income people. So those who have, so let's say, for example, those who can invest heavily or purchase some kind of thing. Now, when they visit some kind of retail store, now, even if they do not like or even if they do not need that kind of product, so they will simply give me some kind of sales here. So I do not bother about these kind of customers here. But again, so this is the groups where I have, like, for example, I need to, like, for example, think about, because if I launch a new product into the market, right? So which of these clusters or which of this group of customers can purchase some kind of product here? Okay. So what are the chances here? All right. So what are the chances here? So this is where, so we also implement some other kind of practices in machine learning called as clustering. All right. So we form some kind of groups here, and again, using some kind of practices. So we even, like, for example, identify if I launch a new product in the market, right? So which of these customers can give me huge amount of sales here. All right. So whether it is cluster one kind of customers who will be giving me more number of sales, or cluster two who will be giving me more number of sales, or cluster three. So I have to identify. So based upon some other kind of factors here. So which we use it in some kind of machine learning algorithm. And again, we also use some other kind of statistics here. So that is different story. I'm not going to dive deep into some kind of technical point of view here. So this is how clustering works here. So this is some kind of unsupervised learning. Now, meaning why we call them as unsupervised learning is, now here I know some kind of data. supervised learning. I know what is my input variable, what is my output variable. So just like I've shown you some kind of, model in this way. So I know what is my data. So what is my input and what is my output also? I know this one, for example, but I make the machine learning model to learn the logic here, to identify the pattern in this particular data, so that if I give it any kind of unknown number, right, it has to quickly give me this particular result here, square of the number. So this is how I train the machine learning model. So here what I'm saying is, I know some kind of data here. I know what is input, what is an output variable here. I know that one. Now here, what happens is I do not know. For example, if a customer visits some kind of retail store, right? Initially, do not know what are the sales data that it gives me. He can fall in any of this kind of categories here. He can give me, in between $1,000 to $5,000 also, or he can even give me in between this particular range also, or he can even give me in this particular range also. All right. So, see, I initially do not know this one. So that is where I train my machine learning model in order to identify the patterns in the data. So this is what is called as unsupervised learning. And reinforcement learning is some kind of concept which we implement. So some kind of example is robotics here. All right. So where I train some kind of robot based on some kind of, like for example, penalization. So for example, if it performs certain tasks, right? So I give it some kind of credit here. All right. So if it wrongly performs certain tasks, so what I do, I penalize it. So likewise, what happens, it increases its accuracy depending upon the more number of data I get it trained on actually. Okay, so this is what we use it, this kind of learning in some kind of robotics kind of thing here. So robotics is now being employed in some kind of warehouses or some kind of industries where they're performing some kind of task here. So for example, in Amazon warehouses, they use robotics in order to, for example, make work on some kind of goods and manufacturing products and logistics and supply chain kind of things here. So right now they're implementing it. And again, if you look at, so robotics is also being implemented in some other kind of domains as well. Fine. So all these are some kind of machine learning techniques which are being implemented in real world scenarios, guys. And again, let me tell you, so what is the main ideology of this machine learning? So what you need to learn, what you need to do in order to become familiar with this kind of machine learning patterns is, let me tell you something. Now you need to be proficient with this kind of concepts here. So I told you something about some kind of statistics here. All right. And again, I told you something about some kind of data analysis kind of thing. So we require this kind of, concepts in order to, master this kind of data science or machine learning kind of practices here. So supervised machine learning is a process. So what we do, as I told you, I know some kind of data, what exactly it is, but I train my machine learning model in order to identify what it is. And all right. So for example, based on some kind of machine learning model, I train it and again, it will identify so that it is an apple here. On the other hand, so let me just, now, so for example, an unsupervised learning, so which is a perfect example of some kind of classification or clustering kind of example. I told you, right? Clustering. So what we do, so all the apples will be part of one particular cluster here. And again, all the mangoes will be part of one particular cluster here. So, the model has to identify what are this data happen. Okay, it has to identify the patterns in the data and it has to classify these things here. All right. So this is what is called as unsupervised learning. So in supervised learning, so the name itself tells I supervise the model here in order to identify the things here. In unsupervised learning, the machine has to identify the patterns in the data by following certain kind of algorithms here. All right. So that is about machine learning, guys. So the more you train the data, so a machine learning model with more number of data, so the better accuracy it will give you. Now, what is deep learning? So deep learning is some kind of more advanced version of machine learning. So which is used in some kind of advanced complex solutions like speech detection, voice detection, or some kind of NLP kind of things here. Or let's say, for example, some kind of audio detection kind of thing. Okay, so these are used in some kind of concepts here. Now, for example, let me tell you a small use case study. Now, when we were, so in our childhood days, right? Now, so do you remember how we got trained here? Now, for example, so what we do in our childhood days, so how we learn the concept, I'll tell you now. Fine. Now, for example, Now we used to learn some kind of alphabet. So when you were in your childhood days, right? So for example, when you were learning some kind of alphabets, right? You constantly write some kind of things in this way. So you spell out in this way: A for apple, A for apple, A for apple. So what impact does it on our brain is, so I mean, see, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to I mean, for example, make it like, for example, sit in your brain here. All right, so that means if I find some kind of alphabet like A, so I immediately, I mean, I can immediately recollect it. There's something called as apple here. All right, it is nothing but A is for apple here. All right, so I mean, see, what we do here is, now human brains can easily understand some kind of patterns when we, I mean, like, for example, constantly, I mean, learn about that one. For example, the more we learn, the human brain can easily identify that particular thing here. So that is what we do in a machine learning or in a deep learning kind of algorithm, right? It purely works on the concept of this I mean, human brains here. So which we also call them as neurons here. So it uses artificial neural networks to enable computers to analyze complex patterns in the data, enabling them to excel at tasks like image recognition and natural language processing. For example, take the case of your chatbots here. So how come they're able to speak to you? So this is the concept of a deep learning. So, but again, have you ever thought how come they're at least able to, I mean, identify what you're telling? Because right from our childhood days, when we learned about computers, right? So, I mean, we learned something. A computer can understand only binary format, zeros and ones. But then how come it is able to, I mean, identify your voice here? How come it is even able to figure out what you're asking it here? And again, it is able to give you some kind of relevant content, right? So how come it is able to do that one? So all this is some kind of deep neural kind of algorithms. We train the data. So I mean, so this would give you some kind of results, whatever you're searching for actually. All right. So for example, let me tell you something. Now you can able to even search, I mean, something over Google search using some kind of images also, right? So previously, when Google, for example, when Google search engine was first launched in the market, right, it didn't have this kind of feature. It was only some kind of organic search that you can search for something. Later on, they have added some kind of voice feature and again some kind of image kind of feature also. That means you can even search through image and even search through some kind of voice also. How come they're able to do that one? So in the background, some kind of powerful machine learning algorithm will be playing actually. So it will convert your voice signals into some kind of binary format. And again, the machine will easily identify, I mean, what you're speaking actually. And based on the data that you're asking it, right, it will look for its, like, for example, I mean, so it will look for its in search, index search here, then it will give you the relevant sites here. Of course, I'm not telling you this is a high level kind of picture I'm giving you. I'm not going deeper into this one. So, but deep learning works on the concept of neurons here. Deep learning works by relying on neural network architectures in multiple layers. High performance graphics processing units deployed in the cloud or on clusters, and large volumes of labeled data to achieve very high levels of text, speech, and image recognition accuracy. All right. So, for example, a driverless car model might require thousands of video hours and millions of images to train. Without deep learning, this level of training couldn't be done at scale here. Now, for example, take the case of a Tesla car here. Now it is navigating onto the road here. Fine, on the road here. So, for example, it has to identify which is some kind of human and who is some kind of human and which is some kind of movable object like some kind of truck, or let's say, for example, a bus or some kind of car or some kind of two-wheeler. It has to identify this one, right? So I mean, a deep learning model has been trained on lot of parameters in this case here. Only then it was able to identify which is a human, who is a human here, for example, and which is some kind of object here, a movable object here. All right. So it requires a lot of data in order to train this kind of patterns here. Similarly, just like we got trained in our childhood days, like for example, so we used to constantly learn that one, right? A for apple, A for apple, A for apple in this way. So many times we learn this one. So what happens here? It will go and sit in our brain that, I mean, so, I mean, that neurons will be activated. So when you identify or when you find out if there is A, right, you quickly recollect from your mind that A is for apple here. All right. So that's how human brain works actually. So this is the same kind of concept. Your deep learning network also works here. All right. So deep learning applications, if you look at, right, so the major applications of this one is some kind of image, speech, and video kind of processing kind of devices. And of course, today we have a lot of chatbots here. So whether you take it Siri, Amazon, Alexa, Google Assistant, or Microsoft Cortana, or some kind of applications of this deep learning kind of technology. And again, game playing, some kind of online games. And again, so you play it, right? Robotics. So security systems here. And again, tailored experiences. Tailored experience in the sense, now, for example, have you ever wondered How come Netflix is able to give you the relevant, like for example, movies or web series that you are interested for? Now, for example, Netflix, I mean, so it streams a lot of movies and web series. I mean, okay, so I mean, across the globe here. Now, I mean, even Netflix uses some kind of deep learning and some kind of machine learning algorithms in order to identify the user behavior here. So, what is he's interested into? Like, what kind of series? Whether he's interested into some kind of action-oriented movies or some kind of adventure or any other kind of things here, genres here. All right, so that is what a Netflix algorithm also depends upon. And again, it will also share you the relevant content which you're interested into. Now, self-driving cars, as I told you, this is one of the biggest adapters of this, I mean, deep learning kind of concept here. Fine. Now, if you look at what is the difference between a machine learning and a deep learning kind of thing is, so in machine learning, we pass the data as input to a machine learning model, and again, we tell it, I mean, we it's exclusively instruct it, what is this data? And what are the output here? And then we train that particular model, okay, so in order to identify the patterns in the data, and then it figures out what is that particular object about. But in deep learning, right? So deep learning, there is no separate concept here. So, I mean, these are all, I mean, see, these are all called as artificial neural networks here. All right. So this powerful artificial neural network acts as some kind of feature extraction and classification. Now, what is feature extraction is, as I told you, there are different features in order to, I mean, train some kind of model in order to identify the price of a house here. For example, those are the features here, number of rooms or the area of the house here. So likewise, we call them as features here. Now, so what happens here is it will based upon the different features, right? It will try to identify the patterns in the data and it will even figure out what is that particular object about. So that is why in complex kind of solutions, right, we use deep learning rather than machine learning here. So machine learning, it will even give you some kind of good accuracy. But again, if we use some kind of deep learning kind of learning kind of algorithms, right, in some cases, so deep learning might result in a very good accuracy compared to machine learning kind of models. So that is why if you look at today's generative AI kind of applications, right? So they are based upon these two kinds of algorithms here, machine learning and deep learning. All right. Now, for example, if you ask me, okay, so let me tell you something. Now, today's AI, the modern I call it as modern AI. All right. So modern AI. So modern AI is based on three factors here. So one is they are based on three pillars, I can say. So one is data science, the other one is machine learning, and the other one is deep learning. All right. So whatever the applications you take, so these are the pillars of your modern AI systems here. So whether you want to have some kind of informed decisions or better accurate decisions, I mean, so you use some kind of data science kind of practices. You want to predict some kind of things or classify some kind of things or cluster some kind of things here, you use a machine learning kind of algorithms. So again, deep learning algorithms are used in some other kind of cases here. All right. So it depends upon what kind of data you have. And again, what is your problem statement here. Fine. So it's how you apply this kind of techniques on the data here. So there are different kinds of techniques here. Now, for example, what I mean to say is, now if you take the case of data science here, data science uses some kind of statistical techniques in order to infer something from the data. For example, I want to figure out what is happening in my sales here. All right. So first of all, I have to check out what is my data about, first of all. So what is some kind of basic things in my data? All right. Then using some kind of fields, I plot them actually. All right. I'll show you some kind of project. Then you can get some kind of better idea about what are these things. All right. Then there is some other kind of concept called as Gen AI. All right. So Gen AI. All right. So what is Gen AI? So it is nothing but generate using AI. Gen AI is nothing but generate using AI. So what it generates here? So generative AI is a kind of AI application. So some kind of powerful AI application. So which helps you to generate some kind of user defined content. It can be some kind of code that you are want to use in some kind of developing some kind of applications here, or it can be some kind of images, okay, or it can be some kind of I mean powerful some kind of cover letter or some kind of resume kind of points you're searching for example. Now there are a lot of applications for this generative AI application, so many organizations have developed this kind of generative AI kind of applications here. So for example, we have Google. From Google we have Gemini. All right, again from like for example, Grok AI. All right, so likewise there are different kinds of things. Again from Microsoft you have Copilot. Copilot here. All right. So which is some kind of, generative AI kind of application. Now, let's say, for example, so let me open some kind of, browser here. So this is some kind of, okay, so Microsoft browser here. Now, let's, for example, so Microsoft Copilot comes by default with this kind of browser here. So this is not, Google browser here. So this is some kind of Microsoft kind of browser here. All right. So you can find this application in your Windows as well. Now, for example, what I do here is, so this is one kind of Gen AI kind of application here. Now, I can use it in multiple ways in order to generate some kind of user-defined content. For example, uh, write or help me with uh, adding numbers. Okay, so help me with the code. You have to see, give a proper prompt to this one. Okay, so whatever you type in, right? So it is called as a prompt here. So help me with the code in adding numbers in Python, for example, Python. So if see, if I give this kind of prompt, right, it generates me some kind of code here. But have you ever wondered how come it is able to generate this kind of code here? So even before, like for example, 2 or 3 years back, right, we didn't have this kind of concept here, generative AI. Now this is a latest one in the field of AI. So this is a modern AI. So again, so which uses some kind of powerful machine learning and deep learning kind of algorithms in order to figure out something. Now you can quickly use this kind of code in your applications here, and you can edit it based upon your requirement here. Now, likewise, generative AI is in kind of application, so which generates some kind of user-defined content. You can also use it to generate some kind of, some kind of images for you also. So you can ask it some kind of questions, so it can give you some kind of answers here. Fine. So likewise, Chat GPT is one kind of powerful applications in this kind of area. So for example, so Chat GPT. All right. So for example, let me directly go on to this one. So it can even give you some kind of results with free results also, or you can even purchase this kind of things also. For example, you can ask it many questions here. All right. So for example, what is generative AI? All right. So this is a prompt, guys. Now, whatever I'm typing, right? So this is a prompt here. Always all remember, the more accurate the prompt is, the better results it will give you. Fine. Now again, have you ever wondered how come it is able to fetch you this kind of information? So generative AI is, see, it works on the concept of something called as LLMs here. LLMs. So also called large language models. All right, large language models. Whether you take it any kind of application, Google Gemini, Grok AI, Microsoft Copilot, or any other kind of, generative AI models here, LLMs. We also call them as LLMs here. All right. So now this works purely on the concept of this kind of large language models. And what they do, so they actually train this kind of AI models on something called as some kind of deep learning and powerful machine learning kind of models here, and they fetch you the relevant information about what you are asking for actually. All right. So it can even search from the web, and it can even give you some kind of results here. So this is some kind of form of AI which we use, which we can use it to, better. Like for example, come up with some kind of applications in our daily life here. So for example, you want to assist it in writing some kind of code here. All right. It can better assist you in writing some kind of code here, or it can even generate some kind of images so that you can use them for your website. For example, you're running some kind of product related website with you. All right, you can use them in your, like for example, website also in order to display some kind of images or use those kind of images. So for some kind of user interaction. All right. So likewise, you can use it, in multiple ways here. So generative AI is something so which generates you some kind of data for you. All right. So generative AI, generative plus AI. So the language of generative AI is LLMs here. So generative AI applications are powered by language models, which are a specialized type of machine learning model that you can use to perform natural language processing tasks like classifying natural language text, summarizing text, generative new natural language here. LLMs are trained with vast quantities, billions or even trillions of text that represents a wide range of general subject matter, typically by sourcing data from the internet and other generally available publications. Large language models use deep learning to process and understand natural language on a massive scale. Have you ever wondered how come this chatbots or even this chat GPT kind of applications like chat GPT, Google Gemini, or even like, for example, Copilot or something? So how they're able to generate you some kind of data? Have you ever wondered how come it is even working in that way? So the application behind this one is LLM, so which is also called large language model. So which exactly works, okay, so on the concept of some kind of machine learning and deep learning kind of applications. Now, on the whole, I can tell you something. So if you ask me about the AI, right, I can divide AI into three different phases here. So the traditional AI, which, as I told you, I mean, has been coined by Alan Turing. So in the early 90s here, 1950s here. So he coined the concept of machine learning. So this era focused on rule-based systems where computers followed pre-programmed instructions to perform special tasks such as playing chess or solving basic problems here. So, I mean, there are a lot of examples on this one. So, which actually follow some kind of predefined kind of instructions here. So even calculator, okay, so it is also this kind of example here. Now with calculator, you can't perform some kind of advanced kind of things here. So you can just use instructions and it has been designed in such a way. All right. And again, modern AI. So modern AI uses advanced methods like machine learning and deep learning to go beyond the limitations of traditional AI. So these new methods allow computers to analyze data, learn patterns, and make predictions without needing step-by-step instructions for each task. Modern AI can handle more complex problems and is now used in fields like healthcare, finance, and manufacturing. So, with the increased computational powers and again with the increased advancements in the field of AI, now we are able to use the concept of this AI. So earlier in the 1950s, we did not had that enough computational powers here. And at that point of time, as you have even heard and even read about some kind of computers, right? So computers was as big as some kind of rooms here. So the rooms which you're living in right now. All right. So it was that amount of size actually. And again, it took lot of amounts of time in order to process some kind of things here. So that was the problem we had earlier because there was no enough computing powers we had actually. All right. So, but today with the increasing computing powers and because of the, like for example, because of this kind of cloud kind of concept, right? So we are able to deploy these models on the cloud. And again, we are able to get or derive some better insights from the data from this kind of applications today. And again, what is generative AI? So it is a newest form of AI that stands out from traditional AI in one big way. It creates instead of just analyzing existing data. So that means, for example, so what you do in the case of here, now machine learning or deep learning, you identify the patterns in the data and then again you make some kind of conclusions out of it. All right. So, but generative AI is something which will generate some kind of content for you, which generates some kind of data for you. It can be a code, it can be some kind of image, or it can be some other kind of things here. All right. So now you have to clearly identify as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer or even as an AI scientist or generative AI engineer, you have to know how things work actually behind this one. Now it is very simpler. For example, what I mean to say is I can simply type in chat GPT. It will give me the results here. That's okay. But again, I mean, see, a better data scientist, as I told you, a good data scientist or a machine learning engineer or even generative AI engineer or an AI engineer is a person so who can give some kind of insights from the data and can visually communicate the results, out of it actually, who can better explain some kind of data patterns here. Now, one such kind of scenario I'll tell you. Okay, so what we can infer from the ongoing project here. For example, so let me show you some interesting project in the ongoing batch here. So there is some kind of batch already going on. So I'll tell you what we're doing in that kind of project here. So let me show you some kind of Jupyter notebook. So guys, let me tell you, if you're passionate enough, you can make much difference into this kind of field. So as I told you, you are the solution providers, not simply some kind of consultants or some kind of developers. I mean, so you people are not called as developers here. You are solution providers. Now, for example, if some kind of retail organizations comes to you, so and tells you, how can I improve my sales here? So now what will be your answer here? So first of all, you have to identify what is going on in the data. And again, you have to identify the trends and patterns in the data. So that is how you have to come to a conclusion. Now, for example, let me show you some kind of beautiful project. So this project, our students have done in the current ongoing batch here. So let me also explain you now what exactly this project is about. So for example, let me tell you some things here. Let me show you a few things here. I think I have this, sorry, I think I have it in the Python folder. Statistics. Yes. So I have here. All right. So again, so what I'll do. All right. Now, this is one of the common projects, okay, so that you encounter in real world scenarios. This is also part of our course curriculum, guys. All right. So, I mean, let me even show you. This project is part of some kind of real time project in our course contents here. Now, let me explain you this project here. And again, I'll also tell you, you can come to know what a data scientist actually performs here. And again, what a machine learning kind of engineer does here. Now, let me explain you here. So for the project here, so for example, so you have to perform some kind of exploratory data analysis about some kind, and again, provide some kind of actionable insights for the retail food company. All right. So first of all, let us try to understand the project description here. The number of restaurants in New York is increasing day by day. Lots of students and busy professionals rely on those kind of restaurants due to their hectic lifestyles. Now, let me explain you this in simple terms here. Now, for example, if you're staying in US, you might be having some kind of Uber Eats here. All right, so some kind of food delivery app, right? Uber Eats and again DoorDash and some other kind of apps here. Similarly, in Australia also we have Uber Eats. In India also we have that one. And in India we have something called Zomatos. We got something. All right. So, for example, likewise, depending upon your region, right, you might be having some kind of food delivery apps here. Now, what happens in this kind of food delivery apps is, so they might be having multiple restaurants. Okay, so with them, and again, so the when the users, for an example, so when they order some kind of food from some kind of restaurant, right? So now you need to analyze some kind of information about such kind of data. All right. So what are the object here? The food aggregator company has stored the data of the different orders made by the registered customers in their online portal. So they want to analyze the data to get a fair idea about the demand of different restaurants, which help them in enhancing their customer experience. Suppose you are hired as a data scientist in this company and the data science team has shared some kind of key questions that need to be answered. Perform the data analysis to find answers to the questions that will help the company to improve the business here. Now you have been given some kind of data here. All right. So this is some kind of data that you are having. So let me also show you, now. So, see, I'm not going to explain you the code here. Forget about the code. Anyways, we'll be learning the code once you join the training here. But again, I'll tell you, what you need to derive from this project here. All right. Now, first of all, I'll use some kind of libraries which will help me in order to make some kind of data analysis and again perform some kind of visualizations here as part of my data science and ML techniques here. All right. Now, what I'll do here is, so first of all, I'll import this kind of data. And again, this is some kind of real-time data set which has been taken from Kaggle. So this is not a dummy project, guys. All right. And again, see, let me tell you. So we have the fields in this way. I have some kind of data in this particular data set in this way. Order ID, customer ID. So we have different customer IDs. So these customers might be placing different kinds of orders over a period of time here. All right. Now restaurant name. So there are a lot of restaurants. So people who have made some kind of orders from, and again, so they might be interested into different cuisine types here. So cuisine types will give you some different, cuisines here. So like, for example, it could be some kind of Mediterranean diet or some kind of American, Mexican, Indian, or some other kind of Japanese or some other kind of things here. And again, what are the cost of the each order here? All right. So customers have placed some kind of order using the food delivery app. So whether it is Uber Eats or DoorDash or something. All right. Now what is it costing him or how much it is costing him per order. Okay, so you have different orders here and again different prices here and again day of the week here. Now normally we see that, during the weekdays, if you compare weekdays and weekends, right, so there'll be a lot of sales over the weekends, right? So on Saturdays and Sundays here. All right, so this is a general thing here. So here you need to analyze like what are the total number of sales on weekdays and again weekends here. So again you need to also infer some kind of results here. Now, what is that you have found out from the data? You also should write some kind of observations there. So that is what say good data scientist performs here. And again, rating. Now, rating in the sense, So people have rated the foods from some kind of 1 to 5 on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1 is worst year and 5 is treated as best year. And again, so even you see some kind of orders have not been rated also, not given. So they have been, termed as not given here. And again, food preparation time and delivery time. All right. So food preparation time and delivery time. Now, so first thing is, now what you will do with your data? So this is the question here. So how will you perform some kind of data science analysis here? Let me tell you now. The first thing is you will import this particular data into some kind of Python kind of libraries we'll be using. And again, first of all, you have to know what is your data set about. All right. And how many rows it is having and how many columns it is having. So you see there is almost all 1898 rows we are having in this particular data set. And again, 9 columns we are having. All right. And you can see here, number of rows is 1898 and number of columns is 9 here. Now, also you need to understand what are the columns here. All right, what kind of columns you're having, because it is also very essential to understand the kind of data that you're having, because some kind of columns might be categorical in nature. All right, if you relate it to a database, right, so those are called as strings here. And again, some kind of data will be numerical in nature. So if you relate them to an database kind of terminology, right, so they might be integers or they might be floats or something. All right, so you need to also understand each and every column here, because see, if you go with this particular kind of information, right, you can even understand how many records are present in each and every column here. For example, the total data set is having 1898 records here. That's okay. But again, there could be some kind of data sets, I mean, in like, for example, in real world, where certain columns might not be having the fullest data. So there might be some kind of nulls also, missing values. In database terminology, we call them as nulls here. Here we call them as missing values in analytics terminology. All right. Now, if you look at it, in each and every column, we are having the same amount of data here. All right. And again, now again, out of this, what are the other kind of things? The second thing is, how will you make some kind of analysis is, now if you have any kind of missing values, right, it won't give you, I mean, like for example, much accuracy here, correct? Missing values. So what you do now, missing values in the sense, like for example, there could be some kind of days where the store might not be running. There could be holidays or like for example, there could be public holidays or something. All right. So the store might get closed on that particular day. Now you can see there is no sales on that particular day. Now traditionally in a database, I mean, so we see that is a null value. But here what we do, we fill that null values using zeros here. All right, we fill that null values using zeros. But again, if you look at our data set, right, we do not have any null values here, missing values here. All right. So guys, please, I request you to stay for some more time. So you will get to know some different insights here. So what we do in a data science or what we do in real world, you will get to know this kind of things here. All right.
Can you
So
explain
because
this
it
one
is
second?
also
Sorry. Can you explain this
good.
1 second about null and you said these two terms? You can explain it again, please. Sorry.
See, null values are something. So where you do not have any kind of data. What is a null here? Null is not zero here. Let me tell you
Explain,
guys,
please.
null is not zero. It is a blank value.
Blanks.
All right. So for example, let me even explain you in this way. For example, now you have some kind of data in this way. So on Monday, you got, like, say, for example, $100 in terms of sales. On Tuesday, so there was some kind of $150 in terms of sales. On Wednesday, like, say, for example, you got almost all $200 here. And on Thursday, so due to some reason, the store got closed here. So it can be due to some kind of public holiday or any other kind of reason here. And again, what you do, so for example, similarly, on Friday also, you have some kind of sales here, like say, for example, $300 here. On Saturday, so for example, so you, because it is weekends, you have increase in sales. Again, on Sunday as well. So you have, let's say, for example, $600. I'm taking some kind of random values here. Now, due to some kind of reasons, you don't have any kind of sales on Thursday. Either it could be due to the store got closed on that day, or it might be due to some kind of public holiday that there is no sales for that particular store on that day. All right. Now, what we do in our data analysis here is, now this is some kind of, a null value. What is a null here? It is a blank value. It is not equal to zero. Fine. Null is different. Zero is different here. All right. But in order to make some kind of analysis here, so what we do, we replace this missing value with some kind of zeros here. So because there was no sales on that particular day, right? So what we do, we try to, replace that particular null value with zero. All right.
Yeah, it's clear
Fine.
actually. We are doing a data messaging before, no?
Yes, yes. All right. Fine. Now, because why we do here in the sense is, now even if you have any kind of missing value, any kind of zeros here, so what we do, I mean, so it won't give you better accuracy in terms of machine learning. But again, let me explain you the concept here. So for example, this particular data set is not having any kind of, missing values. So that is very fine for us now. All right. So if it had any kind of missing values, then you have to use some other kind of analytics techniques in order to deal with the missing values there. For example, now as a first step in our data analysis, right? So what we do here is, so we try to, summarize the data here. Now, what I mean to say is, so I'll be figuring out what is the data about. What is the highest sales I have? What is the lowest kind of thing I have? What is the median kind of thing I have? What is the average thing I have? So that will be explained by some kind of summary statistics. I told you something about measures of central tendencies, or again, measures of some kind of dispersions, or basic statistics will be doing it. So you will be coming to know about your data. Okay, so about some kind of basic figures here. So using this one, so what you can do is you can plot some kind of things here. So for example, let me ask you some kind of things. I want to analyze like how many orders have been rated and how many orders have not been rated here. For example, find out how many orders are rated and not rated. So you see from the data, right? So for example, if you look at the data, so this is only sample data that I'm displaying here. So I'm using it is displaying only first 5 rows of my data. All right. So likewise, I'm having almost all 1898 rows. It is not, it can't show all the data here. So that is why what we do, we just go with some kind of sample data. And again, what we do here is, so if you look at this particular rating kind of column, right? So there are some kind of ratings between 1 to 5. And again, some kind of orders have not been given rating here. So you need to find out which are those kind of orders which have been rated, and which are those kind of orders which have not been rated here. So after finding out using some kind of commands here, so you got the ratings with 5 kind of writings, right? You almost all have 588 kind of orders here. Totally in your data set, right? You have 588 orders which have a rating of 5. And again, 386 kind of orders have a rating of 4. And again, 188 ratings, orders have a rating of 3. So I don't have any kind of 1 and 2 kind of ratings here. So people have rated me 3, 4, and 5. So they have given me. And again, so the kind of orders that do not have any kind of ratings are almost all 736 here. All right. So it is not given 736. All right. Now again, I want to know, so display the number of orders per restaurant here. Now, what you do in this kind of data analysis is, for example, I want to figure out, so how many restaurants are there? And again, each and every restaurant, how many orders they have got here in increasing order. Fine. So what I do, for example, now if I try to find out using some kind of command, right? So this is what I got actually, this result here. Now that means, for example, so there is some kind of restaurant called Shake Shack here, so which has almost all received 219 orders here. All right. Similarly, there are even certain other kind of restaurants which have been, which have received only just one order here. All right. So likewise, I want to plot these things here. So if I plot these things, right, so you get to see this kind of graph here. But again, out of this graph, I can't figure out any kind of such kind of information. So what you do, again, you go to some other kind of analysis here. Now, let's say, for example, I want to find out which are those kind of restaurants which have just received only one kind of order here. So almost all it is 50 such kind of restaurants which have received this kind of order. And you can see these are the restaurant names here. So which have received only one kind of order. Now, out of this one, so you also need to write some kind of inference here, guys. So your inference is there are a total of 178 restaurants. The restaurant with the most number of orders is Shake Shack with 219 orders. There are 50 restaurants with just one order here. And again, for example, I also want to find out which is the highest cuisine that has been ordered by the customers here. Most ordered cuisine type here. All right. So from this figure, can you tell me what is the kind of cuisine which has been ordered most here?
Mexican.
No,
It's American.
yes, it's American, guys. So there is some kind of, okay, so you can look at here. So it
There's
is
an
the fourth kind of
overlap.
plot here. Yeah. So it is American here. And again, can you tell me which is the least ordered kind of cuisine type here?
Vietnamese.
Yes, so it is Vietnamese here. So, I mean, see, as I told you, now always all, like for example, so how do you communicate these results to the end users here? Now, for example, you might be using different kinds of statistical techniques or ML kind of approaches, but again, that's okay. But again, how do you communicate the results to the end users is using some kind of visual ways here. So that is what I told you. A good, say, data scientist or a machine learning is a person who can derive some kind of insights from the data and we can visually communicate the results to the end users here in some kind of simple ways here. So always all in our data
Hello?
science kind of applications. So what we try to do is along with our data and different kinds of analytics techniques, right? We also use some kind of statistical plots in order to visualize the data here. All right. So with this one, we can easily identify what exactly the data is telling me. All right. So this is what we actually do in data science kind of applications here. So likewise, you can even plot the things in different plots here. So you can even, so this is some kind of bar plot here. Again, this is some kind of pie chart here. All right. So likewise, now for example, so what is the minimum, maximum and median cost of orders? I mean, so for example, I want to just go with what is, I want to find out what is the order with which is having minimum cost here, and again what is the kind of order which has highest cost here, that is maximum cost, and what is the average cost here. So if I try to find out it, right, and if I try to find out it using some kind of plot also, you can even find out. So, I mean, see, for example, so this is some kind of box plot. Okay, so this is also called as a box plot. And I'm not going to tell you about that one. But again, see, so out of this one, so there is some kind of order here. So the lowest order is $4.47. So minimum cost of the order is $4.47 here. And the maximum cost of the order is $35.41 dollars here. And again, the median, that is the average price is 14.14 kind of dollars. So that means, let me tell you. So, I mean, out of the data that you had, right, you came to know that what is the lowest price here and what is the highest price of the order here. And again, what is the average price of the order here. Okay. And again, now, for example, and now another kind of, interesting
Vamshi,
analytics I'll tell you. Yes.
sorry to pause you here. Maybe we can switch to the Azure cloud, and then can we just show some features what we can have it in the interest of time. Anyway, we are going to cover tomorrow also.
Yes, yes, I'll show you that
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Can we park this one?
Yeah, I'll show that tomorrow in tomorrow's
Yeah,
session.
sure.
I
In
have some other
tomorrow's
kind
session.
of case
Okay.
study.
All
Yeah,
right. Cool. Yeah.
fine. So now, so normally, as I told you, so generally we have a lot of, sales on the weekends than on weekdays here. Okay, so you also visually need to communicate this. Okay, so you have to visually find out, so how many orders we have actually. All right. So then if you rate the counting, right? So which is the most number of ordered, kind of rating that we have actually. So the percent of orders which have not been rated are more compared to the other kind of orders which have been rated something. For example, out of that one, so the orders which have a rating of 5 is more in terms of numbers here. All right. So compared to order 3 and again the rating 4 here. Right. So this is how you can find out here. All right. So again, let me tell you something. Now there is even some other interesting things here. For example, what are the food preparation time? All right. So food preparation time. So as like for example, so what we do now, what are the minimum food preparation time here? So it took almost all 20 minutes. And again, the maximum preparation time is 35 minutes. And again, the median average food preparation time is 27 minutes here. All right. So likewise, if you find out, there are different factors here on how you can find out certain things here and visually communicate the results here. So this is what we do using some kind of, so see, what I mean to say is there are a lot of univariate and bivariate kind of analysis in this kind of project here. Now, finally, as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer, right? So you have to even suggest some kind of recommendations also. For example, now what is that you have found out? Okay, you can quickly write some kind of conclusions in this way. So what are your conclusions from the analysis? What recommendations would you like to share to help improve the business? All right. So you can communicate whatever you found out, from the different analysis here. And again, what is that you recommend as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer? So this is what you have to write it. So this is what we'll be doing in real world scenarios. Then in Azure Cloud, right, which I'll show you in tomorrow's session. So how we deploy some kind of machine learning model on cloud here. So this is what we do in Azure kind of things here. So, but again, there are a lot of things here. So this is a Python scikit-learn kind of thing. So where we have performed some kind of project here. Fine. So likewise, in tomorrow's session, I'll also show you how, we perform some kind of prediction here. So there is some kind of relationship between two factors, or what is the relationship that is, like some example between two variables here. Now I told you some kind of things here. Explain what factors are causing decrease in the sales here. So now what are the project shown you, right? So this is some kind of way on how you write actually, on how you find out the things here. Fine. So use different practices here. So you go with some kind of statistical approaches using some kind of statistical plots like univariate and bivariate kind of analysis. And again, using some kind of data analysis, advanced data analysis features, you come to derive some kind of insights from the data. And finally, you infer some kind of results from the data here. So this is what we do as a data scientist here, data scientist. And I want to predict future sales here. Now, for example, tomorrow I'll show you how you can predict some kind of things here. For example, I'll even show you such kind of project in tomorrow's session. Fine. Now, finally, see, what is that I want to tell you is, so with enough, like for example, if you're passionate enough, right, you can see much difference in your job and in your, like for example, in your career, guys. So, but anyways, I'm telling you, see, this is not my words here. So any kind of, uh, things you take, so they're telling you this one. So a person, see, AI won't replace your job, guys, but a person who knows AI might replace some kind of job. So this is what people are telling about here. Now it is time for you people to upgrade or upskill yourselves into this particular area actually. All right. But let me tell you, you have to put some kind of, efforts in order to learn these things. But again, I'll put down the things in much simpler way as possible. All right. So finally, over a period of time, so the evolution of AI, you can look at this one. So startingly, we had only some kind of basic artificial intelligence kind of thing. So then, due to the rise of this machine learning, so the computing powers or even some kind of advancements into this field, so we came to know something about machine learning. And later on, deep learning developed on the lines of machine learning here. Now we are able to see generative AI kind of applications here. All right. So this is how. But again, how do you train that machine learning model? How do you even analyze some kind of things here? And how do you even visually communicate results to the end users here? And how do you infer or dig out some kind of meaningful insights from the data? So that is where you'll be standing out in the market. And now let me tell you what is the trend here you have for AI related jobs here. So you see there are a lot of trends, guys. So job trends. Okay, let me even go with search here. AI job trends. Fine. And again, let me tell you, even I'll also show you some kind of this thing. Future Jobs Report 2025. Okay, so which has been given by the World Economic Forum. You can even look at this one. So what they are telling you about AI and some other kind of things here. All right. Okay. Yeah, this one. Look at this. So some jobs are growing fast in percentage terms. Demand for roles driven by technological advancements such as artificial intelligence is quickly increasing. These jobs include big data specialists, fintech engineers, and AI and machine learning specialists. All right. So now you can see the demand here. And again, across the globe, you can see this demand here. All right. So again, let me tell you something. Fine. So there are a lot of jobs in this kind of field here. So only the thing is you need to be passionate enough to learn the kind of techniques which we use in this kind of data science or machine learning or any other kind of AI kind of things here. All right. Now, for example, so AI salaries in US, in the US. So you see, we have a lot of pay perks in terms of packages in US actually. So you can even look at, I have even shared you some kind of insights. Let me even show you that one. So the kind of, okay, I think this one, not this one. Okay, I think this one. Yeah, this is the course contents. Fine. Now, let me share you some kind of information. So this is some kind of average salary at Microsoft here. All right. So you can even secure a basic pay package of $150,000 here in US. All right. And again, it can even, rise on to more than $200,000 also. The minimum package which an AI or machine learning kind of engineer can get is $150,000 in the US. And of course, in Australia too. So there are even enough amount of jobs. And again, so the kind of packages also they're offering you is also much, highest when compared to other kind of roles here. I'm not telling you this one. So you can search for, okay, so you can go, you can even search on Google. So you can even find out what kind of salaries they are getting onto, into this kind of field here. And again, let me tell you, so the pay varies depending upon the kind of, experience also you have actually. All right. It is not that, actually you can get, up to $200,000 here. So, even they can pay you, 120 or 130. But again, the minimum pay is some kind of average pay is $150,000, guys. We can look at this one. And again, if you see, there is a lot of trend for this one. So as this is the future technology, and of course, we are even using it right now. And again, there are a lot of trends that are going into this particular field also. All right. So after learning this course, right now, see our basic idea. So let me tell you, our course is designed. Okay. So our course is designed to, to give you a minimum pay package of $150,000 a year. Okay. So 150,000 US dollars here, USD. All right. So this is the minimum pay that you need to get here after learning this course, because this course, so we have designed in such a way that so it helps you learn statistics. All right. And again, data analysis. All right. And again, some kind of data science here and machine learning. And again, of course, Gen AI. And again, so using Azure Cloud here. All right. So you also get all of this one. Fine. So now we are giving you some kind of combo kind of thing here, because if you look at in the market, right? So deploying some kind of data science and machine learning kind of models on Azure Cloud is a separate kind of course. You're getting in the market. But here we are giving you as a combo of all this kind of things with a, like for example, compromise prices here, so that everyone, our aim is to, everyone should secure some kind of job here. So should settle down some kind of job role here into this kind of field here. So due to the going demands in this kind of field and due to the going job trends into this field, so we have designed the course curriculum in this way here. Okay, so you can find all these things here. And again, as I told you, so what is that you will be learning as part of this course? So totally up to 9 projects you will be working real-time projects here. And the best thing is you will be getting some kind of really good hands-on on some kind of Azure cloud kind of scenarios here. So how do you implement the kind of machine learning kind of things or data science kind of roles into Azure cloud? How do you deploy the models here? How do you train some kind of NLP kind of solutions or even some kind of artificial neural networks or deep learning kind of solutions? You will be learning each and everything here. And again, as part of this course, as I told you, so you'll be also using some kind of generative AI kind of things also. You'll be also learning this one. And again, let me tell you something. So this course has been designed to give you these 3 different kinds of certifications on Azure. So that is Azure AI Fundamentals, Azure Data Scientist, and Azure AI Engineer. Okay, so you'll be learning all these things here. So within one kind of course, you're getting all these kind of things here. And again, so the best part of this one is to, you'll be really getting some kind of good hands-on on different kinds of scenarios. And again, so as I told you, now I've shown you one such kind of project here, Food Hub Order Analysis. Okay, so I've shown you the real-time project, which has been done by students in the ongoing batch here. Okay, so this is one such kind of project here. So I have even divided the real-time projects in using different kinds of verticals here. So what are the machine learning projects here? So what is some kind of generative AI projects that you'll be building? And again, Python and SQL kind of data analysis. So which will boost you and which will make you stand out in this present competitive AI field. All right. And which will also help you to quickly get some kind of job opportunities. So the demand is soaring like anything. I'm not telling you these things. Okay. You can even, okay. So, research by yourself, guys. Fine. And again, let me tell you what kind of job roles you can, like, for example, search for after completing this courses. You can go for applying some kind of job roles like AI engineer, data scientist, machine learning engineer, and again, generative AI engineer, and again, Azure Cloud AI and ML engineer, or AI data analyst as well. So these are the target job roles which you can apply for. All right. So this is what our course has been designed for, guys. Now today I have shown you some kind of data science project. Tomorrow I'll explain you how to predict some kind of thing, how we make some kind of predictions using ML, machine learning. All right. So now questions, please. So let me stop here itself. No, Eva, you don't need to have any kind of data analysis experience here because we'll be learning from scratch here. So you'll be getting to learn how to apply some kind of statistical techniques in order to analyze some kind of data. Fine, you no need to have any kind of experience here. And again, so in this course, we'll be learning from Python. All right, so Python programming. Even you need not worry if you even do not know Python as well. So we'll be also learning Python here. See, let me tell you now. Yeah, thank you. So Madan, let me tell you something. So you can even perform this kind of data analysis using Power BI, Tableau, or some other kind of data warehousing tools. But what is the difference is now coming to the case of statistical analysis, right? So these tools won't give you much information about this thing. Now, for example, now basic predictions you can perform using Power BI or Tableau kind of things. But if I ask it, like, for example, which is the ideal factor, that means now, for example, I told you what is the reason that there is some kind of decline in your sales here. Now, in order to better identify which is that optimal feature, right? Now that won't be given by your Power BI or some kind of Tableau kind of BA tools here. You have to use some kind of statistical and machine learning approaches for this one. So that is where AI stands out actually. All right. So we use some kind of techniques in order to infer from the data, find patterns in the data. Fine. So see, BI tools can just tell you what is happening in the data, but in order to better predict something or classify something or cluster something, right? It is where machine learning comes into the concept here. See, machine learning operations is something different. Okay, so how do you use it in production kind of things? And again, how do you deploy them onto some kind of cloud kind of things here? So that is about machine learning operations. So our course is not into machine learning operations. So ML ops is something different. Of course, first of all, you need to know ML for that one. Then you also need to know how you can deploy them using some kind of cloud kind of things like Kubernetes and some kind of DevOps kind of practices. All right, so that course is different. Might be we might come up with that kind of course in near future year.
So one of you asked whether this it will be recorded. Yeah. So this all the classes will be recorded. The materials, everything will be uploaded in the Google Drive. Wamshi, can you just quickly show like the current batch how we are uploading, maybe just to get a
Yes,
feel?
yes, just a minute. Yeah, just a minute.
There's an ongoing batch that is currently going on, team, and we are recording each and every live class. So you'll have good amount of access to all those materials and recordings so that even if you miss any live class, we have the live class recording as a backup. Kirtana, yes, coding is required, and Vamshi is going to teach everything from the basics, whatever is really required to perform as a good AI scientist. For example, you want a Python, so yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. So let me just.
Hey, Vamshi, please,
Yes.
I asked the question. Could you please get back to me on it? That what platforms or tools? You see the question up there in the message.
See, okay, so let me tell you something. So we'll be using Python programming, machine learning, again, using scikit-learn, and again, of course, Azure kind of cloud platform as well. So where for neural networks, we'll be using some kind of TensorFlow and some kind of machine learning models on cloud, and generative AI for source AI, open AI kind of things, we'll be using on generative AI for generative AI kind of applications here. So you see, guys, so right from day one, so I'll be sharing you all the recordings here. All right. So even if you miss any kind of session, you can still watch the recording. And again, you can perform your practice here. So you can see I've uploaded all the recordings to the drive here. So drive access will be given to you and will be shared with you. And you can see all the things here. So you see there is some kind of assignments also given here. There are different assignments here. So I mean Python and some other kind of assignments as well. And again, apart from that one, so the real-time projects as well. So you could look it here. So the food up data project. So this is the ongoing batch actually. And again, you can see some kind of statistics and some kind of probability inferential statistics and some kind of hypothesis testing or some kind of things here. Okay. So each and everything. So you could look at here. So whichever, so you could look at here, each of the things here. Every recording, every day recording will be shared to the drive and you can access and watch it and again perform your practice. All right. And again, time to time, I would even sharing you different assignments here for you to get some kind of really good hands-on on. It is just to give you hands-on, guys. I'll share you multiple assignments here. All right. And it is you have to solve it. And again, you have to share it with me. The kind of solutions that you do it here.
And all of you will be performing a lot of activities on the Azure cloud as well. Tomorrow you will
Yes.
get good insights into the Azure cloud. So you're going to learn Python, you're going to learn Azure, the cloud, ML, AI, a bundle of knowledge which is in high in demand.
All right. Fine. So any other questions, guys?
So Niran is asking what kind of tools do we have access to the tools?
Okay, so let me even write this here. So what kind of tools you'll be going to learn? So for example, Python, and again, so you'll be using Jupyter Notebook for that one. So there will be lot of practice will be doing using Jupyter Notebooks here. And again, for like for example, statistics, and again, let's say, for example, probability or whatever you call it, and again, some kind of advanced statistics here and data science. So we'll be using some kind of libraries also. And again, in Python for data analysis, we'll be using some kind of pandas and again, NumPy. And again, so we'll be using some kind of matplotlib for some kind of plotting the things here. Matplotlib and again, Seaborn. Seaborn. All right. So this is for data analysis here. Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. And again, for data science, so we'll be using statistics and probability, how to, use some kind of data science kind of things here. And for machine learning kind of things, so I'll be teaching you both here. Scikit-learn. So this is one kind of library in Python. And again, we'll also do it using Azure as well. So how you do the same kind of models on Azure. All right. And again, after this, so some kind of concept called as deep learning. So will be working on some kind of basic neural networks here, neural networks. All right. Then after this, so you'll be learning some kind of Gen AI kind of thing. So that too using Azure. All right, Azure. So this is what we'll be learning as part of the tools or something. All right.
So Vamsi, we'll be learning different coding technology for the different apps, or is it going to be a standard coding?
Not different codings here, using Python I'll teach you.
Only
So
Python, right?
likewise, yeah, likewise you can use R, you can use MATLAB, you can use SAS. There are different kinds of tools here. But this is heavily focused on Python because even let me tell you why I'm choosing Python is there are a lot of jobs using Python.
That's right, yeah.
Now, for example, if you use MATLAB, right, you need to be proficient in some kind of mathematical kind of things here. So that is again a problematic kind of thing. So now everyone might not be well proficient in maths, right? So the people might be from different backgrounds here. In order to better learn the things and again better, like for example, master this kind of tools and technologies, right? So it's better to use Python. And even Python jobs are more compared to other kind of roles here. So using SAS, MATLAB, or some other kind of things, Vika, and again, you have a lot of tools here. Fine. So in tomorrow session, what I'll do is, I'll show you some kind of prediction kind of thing. So where I'll also explain you how one factor affects another kind of thing here.
Perfect. So someone asked, how much is the training program? Yeah, so the training program is $700, but for people from India, it's a bit different. So you can always message me on my WhatsApp, +6141251636 That's my WhatsApp number. Please feel free to message me, call me, happy to support you. And don't worry about the really too much about if you're really going through some tough times, you can also pay it in installment, like a pay as you go. Okay, so it is a 700 USD. Jacqueline, you are my old student. So for old students, we are offering an extra $100 discount. So you can pay the 600 in 2 or 3 installments. No problem at all, Jacqueline. So please connect with me on my WhatsApp. Okay. Any other questions? And another good thing is you can join our classes any number of times and until you become confident. Normally outside they don't really encourage you. Once you are done, they are done, but we allow you to join multiple times till you become confident. You come and join next year, no, so no charges at all. You can rejoin and you will get the help with the CV, LinkedIn. Let us say after 3-4 months you have the interview scheduled. Vamsi directly is going to take one-to-one interview guidance as well. So that kind of support, a complete hand holding we are talking about. So if we are doing the same thing like what many people are doing, definitely we are not going to be successful. We have to stand out in the market. Simple. The same rule is applicable to you, to me, to everyone. If you want to be successful, that's the only way to survive and succeed in this competitive world. Recording may be available during the day. Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Vamshi, could you please upload the recording of
Yes,
today?
sir, sure.
And yeah, we will give access to all the people who registered.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll do
So
that.
today and tomorrow is going to be another overview, but from next week, Monday, the actual classes from day one will be starting. However, we'll be sharing these recordings as well. Any final questions, team, before we close the call?
Sorry, can I just
Eva,
ask from a
yes,
UK time, will it always be 11
11
o'clock,
o'clock. 11 o'clock, yes. 11 to 12:30. UK
2
time,
days a week
11
or
to
every
12.
day?
No, Monday to Friday, Eva.
Okay.
Yeah. UK time is 11 o'clock. Yeah, Texas time is 5 a.m. to 6:30. Eastern Standard Time, New York time is 6 a.m. to 7:30. Sydney is 8 o'clock in the evening, 8 to 9:30. And India time is 3:30 to 5 o'clock. And Lagos time, I think the same as UK, if somebody has joined from Nigeria. Do we
Thank
get
you.
the completion of certification? Yes, Abdul. My one is a legally registered company here in Australia. From my company, you're going to get the certification of completion, all these things. And if
I have a
anybody wants
question.
to work as a volunteer, so you can also get as a volunteership as well from my company. No problem at all. Yep. Sorry, Jacqueline, go ahead.
Yes. So, quick question. How are
Yes,
you
sir.
guys? Because mainly companies actually look for experience, right? How many years experience you've had, and because
Right.
right now the job market, especially in America, is kind of brutal. So they need
Not
experience.
only in America. You come to Australia, you will be talking the same thing. And
Yeah.
it's a little
So they
bit, India
need
is a little bit better because of the offshoring, but rest of the world, kaput, gone.
Yeah, so they need a lot of experience because you're competing against a lot of people. So the
Right.
question now is, when you say you're going to help with job, like in terms of coaching, job placement, and all this stuff.
One thing, just we have to hang on there. I never talk about the job placement.
No, not job placement. I mean,
Right.
like
Once I enter into that one, I
resume
start.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
CV, LinkedIn, definitely yes.
yeah.
We have good.
So when you say something like that, how are you going to be able to? Can someone like probably use your company as as a
Volunteer,
reference?
for volunteer, you can use it as a reference, but for employment, it won't go well. And we have
So
some tips and tricks which I cannot really talk on the recording. It won't be nice, but off the recording, I can guide you.
so there are tips and tricks you can help with for the experience.
Oh, because if our background is not clear, so we have to play around, which many of the people are doing. So yeah, I cannot really guide you on the recording. Sorry, but yeah, definitely we can. We have to fake it up, or we have to mock up something. Yeah.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to be sure because
No problem at
the
all. Yeah.
the money is not, it's not a small money, so you just want to make
I
sure that.
understand, sir. I
Yeah.
understand completely.
All
Yep.
right. Thank you very much.
And you can also give me a call and we can have a one-to-one discussion as well.
All right. I'm gonna call you
Sure.
probably when this is done.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. All good. Industry certification, we have to focus post this course completion. Madan, I think the Wamshi has already gave, right? Wamshi, the 3 certifications we are going to get.
Yes, yes, of course. You can, see, you can go for Azure certification, so which will make you really stand out in the market. So that is having a huge, demand like anything.
Azure Foundation, Wamshi.
Yes, yes, Azure certification. So once you complete this course, you can offer some kind of certifications like Azure AI Fundamentals, Azure AI Engineer, and Azure Data Scientist kind of certifications. So that will really make you stand out in the market.
Got it. Thanks.
Any final questions, team, before we close the call? Lumen?
Yeah.
Any
hello,
question?
sir.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question. It's nice to be here. It's nice to meet everyone for the first time. Yeah. I would love to know, with regards to the Azure cloud platform, are we required to create our own accounts, or will you give us login credentials where we can practice with real Azure resources and services?
See, I'll help you create your Azure accounts here. And again, I'll also guide you step by step on how you can optimize your prices there. And again, how you can perform your practice on Azure clouds here. So you need to create your own Azure accounts here. Fine. So I'll
Okay.
guide you in that one.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
And tomorrow, Vamshi is going to show the Azure platform as well at the start, and then we'll do a demo of another project. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. Hi, how are
Agile.
you? Yes, yes, yes. So for the Azure certificates, is there exam after we complete the course to get the certificate for Azure, Microsoft data engineering and things like that? You said there's 3 certifications. Is there an exam you have to take?
Yes, yes, of course,
Okay.
Adel. So you
Okay.
have to take some kind of examination, so which will
Okay.
be conducted by Microsoft, and then you can, if you clear the certification, so they'll give you that kind of certification. All right.
Okay. How much are those
So it
exams?
charges you almost all $100 here.
Okay.
100
So you'll
to
be
150 we are talking about.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Odell, our training is going to make you really confident to clear those examinations.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Got
you
it.
will get the certification of completion from my company. On top of it, you want a Microsoft widely recognized certification. We need to sit for the examination, but the skill and the knowledge you are going to gain from the classes.
Okay. The
And again,
last
you're
question.
also, yeah, it will also help you, like for example, works right from the day one in your job role. So that kind of
Okay.
training I would give you.
Okay, and the last question I have, are there any jobs that you know that would require like maybe a teaching job of this after I create this, like in a school or something or online? Or is it mainly just working for companies remote?
So it's mainly working for companies here. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay. Mhm.
yeah.
All right, thanks.
Perfect. All right, team. Thank you for wonderful time, and hope all of you enjoyed today's session. So see you guys tomorrow, same time, same link. Thank you very much, Wamshi. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.